So yeah, this is another little collaboration with the great Rose and Jones, Lizzie Bet. It's just going to be, how we're just going to do, it's just a bit of fun around Christmas, is a perfume gift for someone naughty, someone nice, and someone with a perfume vice, which is obviously going to be Lizzie. I will pick a fine fragrance for her collection. It's nothing deep or over what have you, just a bit of fun. I don't actually need to go on with a long kind of introduction here. I always enjoy these little collaborations with Lizzie. Obviously I'm not particularly a festive kind of chap. It's all nonsense, isn't it, really? But you know, maybe the winter solstice should be celebrated. I mean, I don't know why we have a Christian festival around this era, but we do. Well, yes, as I was saying, that geezer was born in March, wasn't he, apparently? If he ever existed. Anyway, we shall just get on with the video instead of me waffling. We already know this. Great pagan time of the year. Let's get started. So first on the little list is for someone who's been naughty this year. What do we mean by naughty? Polluting Britain's waterways, making bets on the election when you're an MP, all sorts of illegal activity really, you know, taking free seats. No, we don't mean that. Hell is not good enough for them people. What we mean is someone who's been a bit mischievous, you know, just a normal person. I'd probably slip into this. But yeah, they've been very naughty. Maybe they've been hyping fragrances that are absolutely god awful and not declaring sponsorships or paid things or free bottles, which is actually illegal, but yeah, maybe they're one of them. So what I've picked for that is Gianardo Gianardini di Toskina, Bianco Latte, yeah, that one. Now this fragrance has been absolutely hyped to high hell. Hell is actually a good word for it, I believe. The amount of free bottles that were sent out for this one is off the scale, and the amount of hype of everyone saying it's the greatest fragrance they have ever smelt. It was never away, it was never off our screens. It was every single YouTube influencer going, wasn't it? And it was just hyped to be the greatest thing in the history of the world ever. Well, surprisingly, when I sniffed it, I was a little disappointed. Let's call it milk with some plasters blended in. Plasters are band-aids, I believe, to American people. A little bit of kind of medicinal antiseptic cream, and possibly the entire northern hemisphere's supply of ambroxan, all put in there together. Maybe that's why there's an ambroxan shortage and it's gone up in price now. It's all blended into this absolutely horrifically disgusting caramel vomit, brown sugar sweet mess. This is the sort of stuff you'd probably find outside a perfume company in a skip. It was absolutely, utterly revolting. It's all subjective, of course. Someone naughty, especially one of these influencers who say how much they loved it, may really enjoy this one. You know, and other people enjoy it. It's all subjective, isn't it? But for me, this, you know, had I been naughty, I would expect someone to get me this. It's just absolutely disgusting. So yeah, I'm not going to say the full name because I can't remember it. Di Toskino Bianco Latte, for those who have been very naughty this year.
Well, it is debatable. I happen to have that fragrance, John, And I happen to think it's not that bad. Maybe it's not a vanilla that's the most revolutionary. A lot of people love vanilla fragrances, and I think it's a really decent fragrance. It's not for everybody. It has its pros and cons like many fragrances. I think it's very comforting, it's very cozy, it's very likable. For me personally, Bianco Latte is a towel sprayer and a bed linen sprayer. To me, it smells like fluffy white towels, fluffy white chocolate vanilla that's kind of dry but cozy. I really enjoy it. So I based my naughty perfume gift on someone who is definitely on Santa's naughty list for buying way too much fragrance throughout the year. Yeah, it's me basically. And I've gifted myself something which is kind of naughty. It's kind of questionable to someone who has a fragrance connoisseur nose and enjoys things that are refined, well made, good quality materials. It's questionable. Honestly, my fragrance collection is divided down the middle in things that are elegant I take seriously to things that I just have fun with and play with and, you know, sniff and just enjoy for whatever reason, and this is on that category. My naughty gift to myself this Christmas is Makhala from Montel. So this had a little moment, I don't remember, maybe a few years ago. The note breakdown will not prepare you for how this actually smells. We've got strawberry in here, almond, musk, pearl-balsam. What did you think of this one? What did it smell like to you?
Medicinal. Okay.
You say everything's medicinal.
Okay.
Do you think it smells like toys from the 80s? Like that plastic?
Not really.
None of those notes translate into this scent specifically, other than perhaps the strawberry making this smell slightly like artificial, fruity scented something. And that something is like a rubbery plastic, specifically the kind of material the toys back in the 80s smell, but this is what I can remember. It's either, I don't know, it could be My Little Pony, it could be Barbie, and it could very possibly be strawberry shortcake dolls, which my sister had. There was all different ones. One was blueberry, one was lemon, but the actual strawberry shortcake doll would have a slight scent, so it's likely to be that one. So very synthetic, dry, fluffy strawberry scented plastic, rubbery plastic, and I find that so addictive. The opening of this is really musty, mothbally. Maybe I want to smell like an old strawberry shortcake doll. Been left in the attic for, I don't know, 20 years, and you go up and you find it and you give it a good sniff and you're just reminded of all those memories of being a kid and enjoying your dolls and your toys. And maybe that is a Christmassy thing as well. So Makhala, a bit nostalgic, kind of a bit of a guilty pleasure, I think, for a scent. So that's my naughty fragrance gift to myself.
So next we're going to go for someone who's been very good this year. Maybe they've been protesting against Just Stop Oil or water companies dumping sewage in the rivers. Maybe they've been giving honest reviews on Instagram and YouTube and declaring any freebies they might have. I know, it does happen, trust me. So they're a good, kind person. Maybe they've walked an old lady across the road. Maybe they're just decent, yeah? Maybe they pay their staff a fair wage so that they're not starving to death and don't focus everything on profit. All these things are possible. Anyway, what am I going to pick for that? Well, it would have to be something really special. And a fragrance, I think, is really special, wouldn't it? And it's from a company called One Way Bridge, who are from New Zealand. And they're an indie brand. Now this one is... it's not easy to love at first, but this fragrance itself comes from a good place and a good inspiration and things like that. Elise made this in honour of the people she works with in a hospice. So that's, it takes a special person to work there, full stop. But to honour the dignity of these people and treat them with love and respect in their last days and that. Now this fragrance has that fougere feel. There's a lot of lavender and that kind of nod to the past. Now the lavender is quite nice, and don't get too excited. It's not an out and out fougere. There's some cade or something like that, or birch, which gives it this beautiful kind of smokiness in the base. And there's like a lot of modern notes going through it, as well as some New Zealand notes. Now obviously to somebody in New Zealand in a hospice, smelling these natural notes of nature would be really special. We're taking them back to their childhood, and that's just as like if you were from the UK, I don't know, the smell of coal dust and more raw sewage in the rivers and whatever would be kind of nostalgic to us. All these beautiful plants from the unspoilt countryside and that will be really special. And it is just a fragrance that grew and grew on me more and it will go to someone special, because maybe they get them connections there with it, and that kind of goodness, what this fragrance is all about. And it's also quite a beautiful, classy wear. Again, it's got the right sort of amount of lavender in it to give you a kind of good feeling, a nice little buzz and things like that. So that's the Forgotten Highway. I don't think I mentioned that, from One Way Bridge.
So my fragrance gift for somebody nice or something nice is going to be for my mum. She's just started to get into fragrance more. I wonder why that is. And one perfume that she really loves, that smells amazing on her, and I think she's due another bottle actually, is one from Chanel. It's Perfume from the Les O collection. I gifted her my original bottle of this, the 100ml, about 2 years ago. As much as I love the scent, I have so many, I didn't need it, and she loved it so much that I just thought it smelled so nice on her. It was nice to smell it being worn. This one reminds me of some other fragrances, such as Gris Dior from Dior, also the Col Noir from Dior. There's a lovely zingy fresh garden rose in here. It is pink smelling, but there's a hint of something green and really vibrant. But like the Col Noir, the rose is quite lemony fresh, fruity fresh. And like Gris Dior, this one has a lovely taste of patchouli. It's such a clean, classy, chic patchouli. But unlike the other two, this one of course has those signature aldehydes. But it just has that little Chanel je ne sais quoi twang. It has a lovely, sparkly, fresh, but very elegant, chic quality about it. It's quite an enticing and vibrant fresh rose fragrance from Chanel, and it really does suit my mum, who usually enjoys sort of more fruity, aromatic style scents. She always smells amazing with it, and she's due another bottle. And I've got this little one that once again is just getting lost amongst all my other things. I've got it more as a token because of how much I enjoy it, and I love the Chanel DNA. And as a collector, I guess I just wanted it in my collection again. And actually the association now is of her. I would happily give this to my mum. So that is my gift for somebody nice and something nice. That is Perfume from Chanel Les O collection for my mum.
Finally, we've got one for someone with a perfume vice. This is where me and Lizzie are going to... Well, not really. I mean, God, we're not really going to get each other a fragrance, but what do I think Lizzie's collection needs? What do I think the most posh, bougie collection known to man, with every single top-notch fragrance going? What does that actually need? Well, for Lizzie, we know each other's tastes quite well. We both enjoy some similar things, though I'm not going to lie, that is quite rare, isn't it, really? So what would I give her from my collection? Again, this isn't happening. She's not getting this from my collection, just in theory. I would give her Kilian Princess Rose de Mai. Now, I've spoken about this recently. It's got these kind of same vibes as the original, which is kind of green tea and, well, green matcha tea and vanilla, and a little bit of this kind of toffee thing about it. But obviously this one's called Rose de Mai, so it's got a Rose de Mai in it, or a Rose de Mai, whatever you want to say it like. And the rose in it is actually quite delicious. It's pink, and it's a little bit powdery, it's a little bit fruity, and it just adds this gorgeous element. I mean, don't get me wrong, the original's all right, but it's nothing particularly special or standing out. The rose just adds another level on it, and I think there's more than one rose in this, because like I say, it does all them different things. It's a very lovely fragrance, and it's one that I know Lizzie absolutely loves. Maybe when I pass, I will leave her what's left in the bottle, if she's lucky. But yeah, for Lizzie, is Kilian's Princess Rose de Mai, and that's it.
So a perfume to a person with a fragrance vice. I'm doing this collaboration with Jon Snow. He's decided to gift me something that he knows I really want, which is the Killian Princess Rose de May, which was discontinued ages ago. You cannot get your hands on this thing. There's just something about this fragrance that's so addictive. I just want to say, John, thank you very much for that gift. Accepted. I'll be expecting it in the post any day now. And as a massive thank you and appreciation, I would like to gift him something from my collection. Despite our opposing tastes in fragrance for the most part, there are a few, I think, in my fragrance collection that I know he would welcome. I have one here that I've chosen for you, and I think you'll be pleased with my choice. It's one that he's on the lookout for on eBay, and I think if it came up, he'd have a battle on his hands because there's two people that are after this scent. But I'm going to give this to John. Hypothetically, of course. My gift is the Lizzie Eau de Menuit. You're welcome. There are so many beautiful flankers from this line, so many, and it is confusing. There are just endless ones, and this one has an interesting way about it. We'll sniff it and you will recognize the DNA of Lizzie with its powdery, violety, licoricey iris. It smells purple, it smells powdery, it's simple, it's soft, it has a slightly more somber, moody version of the very bright, loud Lizzie which I guess suits our John a little bit anyway. If memory serves, we do have the violet, I think there's iris, I believe there is tonka, and also myrrh. It could be myrrh in this. You can see how those group of notes would maybe help this lean towards a more sort of warm, soft, powdery, cocooning but more simplified version of the original. Subtly dark and gothic, but ever so beautiful. So that's my gift to a person with a fragrance bias. The Lolita Lempicka Eau de Menuit, I think we have on the bottom there. There you go. Nim, nim. Nim, 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 nim.
So obviously I've just kept this very brief. It's just a little bit of fun from us too. We didn't want to get long one at Christmas, did we really? And also, just to kind of peer inside, me and Lizzie, we struggled with this one to get it right. I think this is the third or fourth video attempt at it I've actually done, because we just couldn't, I don't know, we just couldn't get it to gel. Maybe Lizzie's a very festive Christmas person and I'm not, so I suppose getting it to go together was a challenge. But yes, thank you, Lizzie. Your choices were inspired too. I think we're going to do it again where we might comment on each other's choices. Who knows? I mean, I know the one for the naughty person Lizzie owns, so I would imagine she'd like to comment on that. So thanks for watching. Merry winter solstice. Have a fine time. Yeah, just enjoy the festive period if anyone does, and the alcohol and the food and the merriment. What about yourselves? How would you scent each of these things? What would you get me for Christmas? I mean, it's got to be something for someone really naughty, isn't it, really? Maybe some ambroxan bombs, some PDMs, something like that's probably what I deserve. Alright, anyway folks, thanks, bye.